What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. Yesterday, I didn't do anything. I and maybe it's for the best. I liked the first game over. Then you talked about it, and we talked about it, and I didn't really like it anymore. Like Phoenix, not enough to bet it after the line moved. I guess didn't bet it. They ended up winning. It would have been stressful, but they ended up winning. But no damage done. Nothing for me yesterday. Vino, did you get involved with anything yesterday, and how you doing today?
Good today, Skee. Didn't get involved yesterday. Played today for the clients yesterday. Got to play up off of today's board, but yeah, we did. We talked about that Dallas Atlanta matchup. It's something to look at. I know it was, and especially for me, it's easy to look at that number and just want to pull the trigger on over. But there's something there. Though Atlanta made one 3-pointer last night, one of 16, and won a game. It's crazy. Um, Dallas not much better, 4 of 15. So the shooting wasn't there. It's the third straight time they played a low scoring game. Um, Interesting matchup for sure. But we'll get to today. Yesterday, like you say, no harm, no foul. We'll into it today and see if we can make a few bucks.
We will see. Vino, I'm going to shoot this question to you, and if you prefer or don't want to answer it, then I'm going to answer it. Appreciate you, Gio. Says rooting for me to get the win in the wager talk pool. Keep it up. You got this. Yeah, I've had some hiccups lately, definitely, but it's getting close. It's getting tight. I gotta get back on track. But appreciate you. The question is here from Trevor. It says, "Hey Skee/Rob, what is Picks and Parlay site? Is that a new wager talk site? Any reason why Skee/Rob not part of Picks and Parlay site?"
I can just answer real quick from a purely business website. Picks and Parlays was its own website that's Wager Talk acquired. So now it kind of sits underneath the Wager Talk umbrella, much like Sports Memo. I think there's one called Winners and Winers, a whole bunch. Now, very quickly, I believe the way I understand it, Ski, is there's going to be a way for guys like you and me that are Wager Talk handicappers and analysts um, to be able to post a play a day on this picks and parlay site, but they're developing back end stuff. We went through this when they changed the back end the first time, so bear with us, guys, because that was tough even on us. But yeah, I believe picks and parlay is just an acquisition of Wager Talk. Soon you'll probably be able to find us releasing a play there. I know that for a fact because I do it. I know for a fact that we are allowed to post on Sports Memo right now one play. But Wager Talk is where you're going to find most of our stuff anyway. So that's still the place to go. And these other outlets, as time goes on, you may see Skee and myself with a play or two up there.
Well said. I think we can move on after that. All right, 3 games. Vino. We will start at the top. Lynx and Tempo. The opener that I have in front of me is 11 and a half. Looks like 12, 12 and a half, depending where you shop. Total open 185. And this one is, definitely do line shopping depending on what you like. I see 185 and a half out there. I see as high as 187 and a half out there. For the injury report, nobody for the Lynx. They are finally fully healthy. For Toronto, you have Izzy and Nayar Sabali, both game time decision. Still no Brittany Sykes over there in Toronto. These teams did play the other day. I don't know why. What was it, like 190, 100 to 90 something, maybe 100 to 91? I think it was something like that. Lynx did not cover, but they got the win. The game went over. Now we switch venues, right? If I'm not mistaken, and Toronto's at home. But we see any different here? I mean, Toronto has been a much worse road defense than home defense. For whatever reason, they've been able to play a little bit better defense at home. Or maybe just traveling to Toronto is more challenging for opponents. What can you make of this quick rematch, Vino?
Well, if you're betting side, right now it's hard to bet Minnesota. 1-11-1 against the spread in their last 13 games. They're not making any money. In fact, they're they're coming to repossess your house if you continue to bet Minnesota over that entire 13-game streak. 7 of those whereas double-digit favorites. So they're 0-7 the last 7 times as double-digit favorites. Obviously, Skee, we automatically will, as bettors, will obviously believe that they're overpriced, right? They're winning games, but they're not covering games. They're just overpriced. A lot of teams in this league are either over or underpriced. Problem is that you just don't know when this is going to end for Minnesota. Now, I'm one who'd rather wait and see them reverse the trend before I jump in and trust them to reverse the trend. But it is back to back. They had Toronto. This has happened so often in Minnesota games where they do have big leads. You just let them get away. Teams sneak in under the number at the end. So Toronto had enough firepower to do it the other night. They do have Kiki Rice back in their lineup. She came back the other night. I looked at this game. I'll say this, and then I'll turn it over to you. I looked at this game from a props perspective, which I never do, or I hardly ever do. And I didn't bet at Skee, but Courtney Williams was so off from the field the other night that I kind of looked at her props. Nafisha Collier didn't have a great night the other night. Looked at her. McBride played well. But I would look at Courtney Williams or maybe Collier props here if you're into that market. Otherwise, for me, sidewise, it would have to be Toronto until you see Minnesota turn this around. But total-wise, I don't know, Minnesota wins games. So why stop scoring 100? If you can win every game scoring 100, why stop doing what you're doing? So I guess over would be a way to look. But I'll say again, I did not bet this one. It's too tight for me to call.
It is interesting. I think that, man, I really could see the side both ways, honestly. I could see the Lynx fully healthy, a team they just saw, maybe playing, locking them up maybe this time around, or just creating a margin because they know that they can beat them. Or we continue to see the Lynx win and just not cover. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at either outcome. You think there's any correlation to the total or no? Well, you just said the Lynx, why not stop scoring 100? So I guess you don't. Because if you like Toronto, I don't think you really love under.
Well, that would be a hard case to make because Toronto just still refuses to play defense, right? Just to reiterate or reinforce what I said before, Skee, Minnesota, I just looked it up here, numbers that I keep. They're 3-10 against the spread in that 13-game span, second half. So it's not the first half that's given them any trouble opening up leads, getting ahead in games. It's the second half where they probably get a little complacent. All of those 13 games we know weren't with Collier in the lineup, and she's just getting into it now. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with once she gets going here and they get together as a unit. So I agree with you that no result would surprise me. I think if I had to bet, you and I used to use at the end of an analysis, gun to your head, which way you're going to play. And I think if I had to, I'd probably play over in this game. Minnesota just hasn't shown enough defensively, enough interest defensively. Not that they can't play it, but they haven't shown us enough, really. They don't go ahead and score your 89 points. We're going to get 99. So I'd probably look at it from an over perspective.
All right. Next game up, Sun and Sky. This one opened up -4 for Chicago. It looks like 4.5. Total opened up 172. And I see it as high as 176.5 out there. Another one you need to line shop. Aaliyah Edwards and Brittany Griner look like they're both out for Connecticut. For Chicago, Dejanay's game time. So if we can get Nay out there on the court, that would be lovely. Just from a fan perspective, I mean, Diggins and Azare Stevens look like they're both unavailable tonight. Yeah, this is one. No Griner, no Edwards. I mean, when I saw them play the other game the other day without those two, it was pretty pathetic. I didn't like what I saw at all. This Chicago team, I know that they want to play fast. Courtney Vandersloot, her whole career, she plays fast. She don't play the best defense. Um, I could see Cardosa maybe having some success inside. I could see Sydney Taylor having a big game. I would trust the Sky. I would trust the over. I don't love Azare out. If I had Azare out, I could really probably press the button on both. But yeah, Sky or over. What do you think here, Vino?
Yeah, I like over. I think it's just me continuing to stay on the Chicago over train. Um, the last 15 games the Sky have played, 12 have gone over. 13 of those 15 have gone over 173 and a half, which was the number. I actually bet it personally at 172 yesterday, released the clients at 173 and a half. It climbed all the way to 176 and a half. I subsequently um, changed the rating on the play to a free play, simply because the number had just gotten out of sight, moved five full points. But 13 of 15 going over, 173 and a half was a lot to me. Last 6 games that the Sky have played at home, they've scored 95 or more in all 6 games. It's just they found a way to go fast to score. It's the fastest pace in the W over the course of the last 20 games, but they give up 92.3 over their last 10. So, it's great to go and score, but they do give it back. And Connecticut has shown us the ability to score a little bit as of late. 7 overs in their last 8 road games. So 7-1 to the over in their last 8 road. From a fundamental or from a personnel standpoint, it was fun to see Anissa Morrow get time on the floor in the starting lineup again the other night. 21 points. And Aaliyah Edwards came back from injury, got that starting spot. Morrow kind of disappeared. Now Edwards is hurt. Morrow comes back in. But to your point, when Connecticut was playing really good sidewise, it was because they were starting Griner and Nelson Adota next to one another, and the interior was sealed off. Last game, like you said, Washington with their bigs took advantage, scored 92 points. It's not all that often that Washington scores 92. Feel like, Washington doesn't want to play fast. And in that Connecticut game the other night, there were 142 shot attempts and 372 available points. And that's Washington. And with Chicago, you could get close to 400 available points here tonight. I could see this game getting over even the current number of 176 and a half. I totally understand why people bet it that way. Connecticut just can't defend well enough without the front court size. So I'd go ahead and play it over.
All right, we can agree on that. What up, AOD? Good to see you out there in the chat. Last game, Liberty and Aces. This one opened up -4. I see 4.5. It just lit up red right now. See 4.5 mostly. Actually 4 popping back up now. Let me see. I wonder if we got any news right now. Why is it pop? Okay, and for the other games, Yuha's downgraded to questionable. Sabali upgraded to probable. I don't see anything else for this game though. Total opened 178 and a half, 182 and a half. So we're looking at now. Johannes, his game time decision for New York. There will still be without Leone Fibic and Satu Sabali. For the Aces, Kirsten Bell, Alyssa Smith, both game time decision. I want to say they're both probable. I'll double check. No, truly questionable. And they'll be without Cheyenne Parker Tyus. So this is the first game since the Cup, right? The Liberty won the Cup. That game was played without Aja. And lately, Liberty been playing a lot of close games. A lot of close games. Even when they're playing, not real good competition. They haven't been playing the best of teams. And I've been saying, they don't really deserve to be laying points. Now they're getting a couple possessions. But will that be enough versus Ace's team, who definitely should want some revenge and is here at the house? It's tough, but I think with the injury report the way it is, Yeah, it's tough. If Nelissa Smith doesn't play, Parker Tyus is out. That's a lot of size for the Liberty advantage. I mean, I know how good Asia is, but I mean, she only do so much against both of them. If Nelissa Smith plays, Johannes is out for the Liberty. Looks really good for the Aces, right, Rob? So I don't know. I feel this one is very injury dependent, or I would want to wait to know exactly what's going on with the injury report. But yeah, that's how I feel. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree, Ski. One thing about Melissa Smith is I had read somewhere that Becky expects her to play today. So if your coach is saying you should be playing, she probably gets out there and plays. I think, the absence the other night, I don't believe was physical. We believe it was more personal. So maybe Melissa Smith gets in the right frame of mind against the Liberty here. The Liberty just haven't been good on defense. Ski 6 games in a row, 90 points or more allowed. They look slow. I've said it multiple times here over the course of the last 2 weeks that they just don't look like they can defend. However, if you put Satu back in the lineup and you get Johannes back in the lineup, that means only Phoebus is missing anymore, and you're starting to round back into form. But the Satu, she missed 11 games. And does she just walk right back in? Is she going to be on a minutes restriction? I would think. I would, if I was going to rate what she brings to the table tonight for the Liberty in a positive way, it's got to be her defense and so much more than her offense, I would think. Just the fact that the Liberty could get one more big across that front court. Brianna Stewart, Jonquel Jones, Satu Sabli. They're a good defensive team when they have them all together, but without Sabli, without Johannes, they weren't shooting the ball as well. And Phoebus, those are two shooters in the lineup. So we'll see. That goes to your point about this being injury dependent. Um, my first reaction on this when I saw the opener, Ski, was to bet Las Vegas. They were -4, but these injuries were not updated at that point in time, and I did not bet. And as we've seen with the W, it pays to wait a little bit. Sometimes we jump the gun, bet overnights, and find out these injuries shift. I think Las Vegas will be really motivated. I got to turn to you here because I think the last time we analyzed this matchup, you had a number on this particular Las Vegas versus New York series staying to the under way more often than not. Here, the total is 181. I just wonder, I talked a little bit about the Dallas Atlanta matchup just being an under matchup. Maybe Las Vegas, New York, just the intensity level climbs. And I don't know the numbers, Ski, but I know either one of the viewers, one of the chat, I'm pretty sure you had it too, a solid number on betting under when these two play.
I think 4 of the last 5 meetings have stayed under. Um, that last one did sneak over. I think they had a 178, something like that, with a total of 176 or something like that, give or take. Um, yeah, the matchup has been more low scoring, but yeah, if the only way I could bet under in this game today is if Nelissa Smith plays. If she plays, that's the only way I'll consider it. And if Johannes is out, then we can maybe talk some more. But if Johannes is in and Elizabeth Smith is out, I think it's an over game.
We're betting over. Yeah, that's it. Seesaw.
Dropping dimes in the chat says he's all over the under 182.5. Brandon in the chat thinks he's going hard on the Liberty defense. He says there's nobody out there who can guard you and me, without Phoebus on the court. Um, uh, interesting. Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, I think we covered it pretty good. That game, that last game that we just talked about, I think we both made the point that you should wait if you're a little indecisive. Just wait a couple hours, see what's going to happen here with these injuries, because you can make better cases either way once you know who's in and who's out.
Agree. All right. Let me get these graphics up there. Where are we at? There we go. Veno and Skee, 3-day all access, 241, only $69 if you want to rock with us for every play we release in the next 3 days. If you say Skee is a bum right now, I just want Veno, buy three, get three free, 6 days for just $69. And yeah, this one, I think it's the last day today. I'm pretty certain this is the last day, so I will put it up there. You buy NBA early bird, you get the rest of WNBA free for myself. So different ways to get involved. Vino, I will pass it back to you. Ask you if there's anything else you would like to promote. And if you have a best bet for the show, we'd love to hear it. If you don't, it's all good.
Yeah, this is hard, Ski. I talked an awful lot. I did release Chicago in Connecticut over 173.5 to clients yesterday afternoon. So those who are on long-term packages, you got it then this morning when it got to 176.5. I turned it into kind of a free play. So let me just say that it's no longer a top tier play because of the line move, but I still like it enough to probably say free play here. Chicago, Connecticut over until Chicago starts playing some unders, which I don't know that they will. You got to continue to ride that train. So let me go ahead and leave that as a best bet for everybody. Chicago, Connecticut, up and over 176.5. Just know that it's been tempered a little bit as far as what I think the value in that play is.
All right, good stuff, Vino. For myself, I'm not going to leave a best bet for the show only because I've only played one game today, and it is a 5% play. And, usually, I don't know, I feel like today I did a good job maybe disguising it. But there is one play that I really, really love that I played today. So if you would like to be involved, you can get it over on Wager Talk. Vino, always great capping these games with you. You absolutely help my process. Chat, we appreciate you all as well. We'll be back again tomorrow. We do have, it looks like, another 3 games on the slate. So best of luck, everybody, on all your action tonight. And we'll catch you again tomorrow.